Mike's Daily Podcast.
Happy Friday. Happy Mike on a different Mike day. Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast. The show is called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today, the last place on earth. And my name's Mike Matthews. And we're going to get through some Matthews views, hachus, and yous can tell me what you think. You can email me mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Or just throw a note in the sink and I'll probably get it at some point. So
Mike's Daily Podcast.
This is an interesting room at Cafe Anyway that I'm in right now because I used to do this show with
Mike's
a guy named
Daily
Haley who
Podcast
was much younger than me.
Yeah!
And he would do these he would basically, put me in my place as an older man, as a Gen Xer, and say, oh, you're so wrong. You guys messed up the world. All that wonderful stuff. It was like having a kid. It was like having a son that was just, putting me in my place. And it was a fun time. The podcast was interesting. I got a lot of people responding when he was on the podcast. So when I went back to being just Mike and then the Cafe Anyway characters, a lot of people went away. And then, but I kept going. And I guess today we have reached, what episode is it today? 2010? Let's see. We'll find that out. But first, in New York, apparently as New York hospitals struggle, the 1,000-bed USNS Comfort sits pierside with just 20 patients. What? With all the people sick in New York, there's only 20 people in that huge big boat with the big red crosses on it? The big huge boat? The hospital ship? Really? No, that's not right. Some kind of administrative nightmare is going on. 2010 is what it is. 2010.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I will tell you in a moment. I will tell you at the time. I will keep you in suspense. 2010. What a year that was. That was 10 years ago, huh? That was the time of, let's see, me. Oh, I got a particular dog in 2010. Yes, it was January 3rd, 2010. January 3rd, 2010. I might have to jump to a different mic. Hold on. And we jumped to a different mic. Woo! How is that possible? Somebody can do that. It's called amazingness. Thank God there was another mic in front of me. And there's a Basil in front of me. Oh, Basil. 2010. Yes. 10 years ago, I got that dog. He was already a year and a half, so he's an older fella. So yeah, 2010 was the year of, wow, there was nothing has stuck in my brain as far as the music goes. I guess Kelly Clarkson had a lot of stuff. Adele, maybe it's the year of Adele, I forget. But yes, so apparently they have been able to come up with a vaccine. This is an early news report that I heard. Some kind of vaccine to fight COVID-19. It actually helps you create antibodies to fight it. So I don't know. That story is developing. I'm sure we'll hear more about it, hopefully. Meanwhile, we got to hear about face masks ad nauseum. Oh, unemployment rising because everybody's staying at home because unfortunately they're working in a non-essential business. I hear real estate agents want to become a non-essential business, or they want to become an essential business. Right now they're non-essential because basically you could do your home perusing online and then you could probably set it all up via the internet, and then it would require the homeowner to allow you to come in. But yeah, that's not how it works in the real estate world. You have this real estate agent holding your hand, bringing you to every property. You have to set it up with the homeowner. The real estate agent does all of that, so you never see the homeowner Although I did a couple times when I was home shopping 10 years ago, over 10 years ago in the Bay Area, and there were some interesting houses. I remember one lady just looking upset as can be, like, I don't want to sell this house, but this was 10 years ago, after all the real estate bubble hit and the credit bubble, and everybody had bought these houses they couldn't own. And that wasn't fun to see. But so real estate agents, I guess they serve a purpose, but still. And if I wanted to buy a house right now, I don't know how I would go about doing it. Because basically you can go out and buy groceries, but you can't go out and buy a house. You can go out and get medical supplies, but you can't go out and buy a house. Not that anyone can buy a house at the way they were so expensive in the Bay Area. Now that could drop with all this crazy, the unemployment rate going up and everything else. But meanwhile, everyone's obsessed with something called a Tiger King, and Stephen Colbert got to interview the Tiger King. Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. I guess it's on Netflix. Netflix has done it again. And I don't want to read any more about it because it has to do with tigers, criminals, and polygamy. And, Tiger King's Joe Exotic. This was he was hospitalized for coronavirus? This says this story was 6 hours ago, but I think this actually happened. I want to get away from that, if that's all right, because that's not really... I don't want to be in that world of the Netflix. But Netflix does it, doesn't they? Come up with things like Maria Kondo and these little binge-watching things every now and then that everyone's going to quickly forget afterwards. Let's do a podcast picture from Half Moon Bay today. This picture I took, let's see, I was there 6 years ago? Is that right? Yeah, 6 years ago as we go outside a cafe anyway. We're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley Mont today. Costco is letting you go in now with one guest. Just one guest. Can I tell you how happy I am about that? Some of the stuff going on with the coronavirus is making me so happy. Like, I drove to work today to get to work at 6 in the morning. Usually, if I leave the house after 5:30, I'm stuck in traffic. Even after 5:30. Today, no problem at all. It was wonderful. So Costco's only letting one guest in. I like that because how many times have you been to a Costco and you get stuck behind a family and they're all they're waiting for some stupid little sample of a piece of cheese on a cracker. And they're all waiting there. And you can't get around them because the shopping carts are so huge. I hate that about Costco. So now, one guest, that should eliminate that potentially. Let's see how many people actually follow that. Although they got security guards at the front doors. They will not let you in. They're strict there at Costco. Also, make sure that... Okay, I'm seeing a lot of surfaces getting cleaned down over and over and over again of places that nobody goes. And all you're doing, you're cleaning down that surface, but at the same time, you're also creating some kind of weird... There's residue. Some of this cleaning stuff creates a residue on the top of the surface. And I've actually touched surfaces and felt this stickiness. That can't be good either. I don't know. And then, the important thing, even though we hear it over and over again, washing the hands, it's important to remember that the Spanish flu, which happened almost 100 years ago, there's a very interesting photo. I have not seen it, but I was told about it by listening to another podcast. But apparently, there's a photo of a bunch of nurses. They look like, they're dressed as nurses, the old style, the Red Cross type nurses. And there's a sign in the background that says something like, if we don't do our job right, a man could die today. And basically, it's the same idea with washing your hands. Even though it's something that you're just doing over and over and over again, and you hear it over and over and you're sick of hearing it, just doing that can potentially keep someone from losing their life. It's that crazy a connection, but it's true. I know you know that deep down. Coronavirus will be cured. It's just, in the meantime, hospitals, we got to prevent the hospitals from getting completely overrun. We got to help out the health service people. Forget about getting a face mask for yourself. That goes to the health professionals, not to you. They need it way more than you. And testing. Testing is so important. They're actually making testing now that well, I've heard different stories about how the testing is getting more and more easy. So that's something that has helped it spread, unfortunately, the fact that we have had lousy testing. So anyway, Cafe Anyway, we're outside of Cafe Anyway, and there's some folks here. Let's say hi to them. Hello, my gosh, it's Madame Rootabega, and yes, I believe all these things you said are true. Oh, thank you. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we're gonna wipe you down now with some sticky cleaning solution there.
Yeah, you're gonna smell so nice. Do you know that? Thank you. Okay. Spanish flu. One thing about the Spanish flu that apparently that we should take heed of is it did disappear by the summer. Late spring, it was gone, but it came back in the fall. So we got to keep an eye on that. It's a true fact about the Spanish flu. Okay, next show, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. Tell me what you think about any of the topics we covered today. 336mm daily, 3 + 3 = 6mm is a Mike Matthews daily, as in what this podcast has been for the past couple of days. Last podcast, we had my lovely lady friend, and we were talking in the kitchen. And it was definitely in the kitchen. You could tell from the audio it was pretty echoey. My kitchen's kind of echoey. Doesn't have the best acoustics. And there was definitely a lot of cereal. God, she loves cereal. So much cereal. What do you think about cereal? 336mm daily. Thank you for listening. Stay safe. Wash the hands. And don't touch the face. Stop touching the face. You can kind of use your sleeve to touch your face, I guess is what they're suggesting. Okay, try that. And watch out for stupid Netflix things that could suck your time away. I found on my Xfinity Flex that they gave to me for free for no particular reason. I guess they did it as a promotion, or maybe they do that if you have Xfinity. And now I saw that there's like an Acorn TV app in it, and I was watching Doc Martin. Oh, I haven't watched Doc Martin in so long. Some goofy British TV show. It's huge over there. Here, no one knows what it is, but it's pretty funny. And it makes light of what health professionals have to go to, sort of the lighter side of what health professionals go through. Then, of course, there's also Northern Exposure, where apparently you can't watch that anywhere. It's not streaming anywhere. You actually have to rent the DVDs. So hopefully your library's closed. More than likely. Shoot. Well, one thing when the coronavirus goes away, you definitely want to start renting DVDs of Northern Exposure. Hey, I gave a plug to Xfinity Flex. Now a slug to Xfinity Flex is, I can't think of anything at the moment. I don't like sitting in front of the TV. This is not a good time for me. If I'm going to sit in front of the TV, I'd rather just sit and take a nap. And then go outside and take a walk. It's trying times for people like me. Oh well, maybe I'll watch some more Doc Martin. Have a good day. Stay safe. We'll try and do another show real soon. And thanks for listening to Mike's Daily Podcast. Take it away.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!